Good morning and welcome to our second Library Adventures Live. My name is Kirsty Wilson and I work for Kirklees Libraries. I hope you've had a good week full of adventures, reading and fun. Have you had a chance to try out any of Joseph's top writing tips yet? And how are your funny poems coming along? Remember to send them in using our email address. Let me just remind you of what that is. There it comes. There we go. So it's frontline.services@kirklees.gov.uk. Okay? And remember, if you send in your funny poems, we'll feature them on our website. Just remind you what that is. There we are. So kirkleeslibraries.co.uk/Lao. Right. So that was last week. Let's get on to this week's exciting Library Adventures Live. This week, we're featuring another awesome author. You're going to have a great time meeting her, and she's going to help you with a draw along. Now, have you got some paper and something to draw with? No? Then see what you can find and meet us back here. There's still plenty of time, okay? Right then, robot fans, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Rebecca Patterson. Rebecca was the winner of the Roald Dahl Funny Prize and is both an author and an illustrator. So we're going to have a great morning. I can feel it. Her last book was called A Moon Girl Stole My Friend. I read this. It's a wonderful mixture of science fiction, humor, and great storytelling. I'd recommend you read it. Today, Rebecca's going to be introducing us to her latest book, A Robot Girl Ruined My Sleepover. Great titles. Now, if you have any questions for Rebecca, you can use the chat feature in Facebook and in YouTube to send them in and maybe ask an adult to give you a hand. Send them in and we'll have a question and answer section at the end of Rebecca's workshop. Okay, so let's have a great Kirklees welcome for Rebecca Patterson. There we go. Morning, Rebecca.
Hi, hello. I've got my Moon Girl antenna on my head because in my world, I've created a fantasy futuristic world where we've got fantastic new technology. The year is 2099. There are people living on the moon. And in my last book, A Moon Girl Stole My Friend, I featured a rather unpleasant girl there called Petralumen. And she has an antenna on her head because in my mind, everyone who lives on the moon has to wear one of these. I'm not sure why. Don't ask me about the science, but that's what I think you need up on the moon. Now, the first thing I'm going to do today is read from my new book, A Robot Girl Ruined My Sleepover. And this is what has happened in the future. The government has decided that robot kids are getting really quite good. You know, they're quite realistic now. They can function very well. They're brilliant at science and maths. They're a bit cleverer than you and me. They can do everything. And they've decided that what they're going to do is they're going to allow these robot children to come to primary schools to really learn how to make friends with normal kids. Because the one thing they don't really understand is friendship. Now, I've based my robot girl actually on this doll. I'm going to show you. I've had this doll in my house for quite a long time. Hope you can see her. She's a bit spooky. Look at her. She looks a bit like a sort of cyborg child. And you can see I've kind of copied her in this picture. So I've based my robot children on this slightly spooky dolly. She does actually change the colour of her eye. She's got a string there. When I do that, she's even spookier. So that was my inspiration for my rather spooky robot children. So the government's decided these robot children, who are now about 10 and 11, are all going to come to Lila's primary school. She's the heroine. She's 10, and they're going to join the primary school and learn how to make friends with normal children. It doesn't quite go to plan. But the bit I'm going to read you first is chapter 2, where the robots first come into the school. So they're all very excited. And they say, today the robots are coming. I'm going to now share my screen so I can show you some pictures. A very elegant woman came into our classroom with really smooth skin and glossy hair. She had a smart sash across her suit, which said Luna Livewires Corporation, building better children for a better universe. She gave a little wave to whoever was still outside in the corridor and said softly, just wait outside for now. And then she turned to face us. Hello, children. My name is Sophia, System 4002, and I am from the Lunar Livewires Corporation, based on the Cassini crater region of the moon, where we create real cyborg children. Some of you may be surprised to learn that I am a cyborg myself. Everyone made wow faces at each other. The Sophia System 4002 went on. Oh, well, if you think I'm impressive for a cyborg, wait till you see our new range of children cyborgs. They are wonderful, so totally human that the government has decided that soon they will be allowed to enter normal mainstream edu hubs, just like yours. Lewis muttered in my ear, oh, here we go, more battery brains driving us all crazy, like we need any more robots. Sophia, System 4002, heard. She looked straight at Lewis with such a focused stare that Lewis slid down in his chair. Young man, I can assure you the children you are about to meet can be every bit as human, thoughtful, and charming as you are, if, she tilted her head on one side and looked super caring, if they are loved. Oh, my darling, said James, kissing his memory cube, which got big laughs, and Mr. Caldwell stomped to the back of the class to have a little word with him. Sophia raised one perfectly arched eyebrow and went on. You are all used to cyborg pets at home and your wonderful electronic school assistants, but this is where our cyborg children differ. They actually grow more human the more you care for them. Show them kindness and love, and they will thrive. We can't program friendship up on the moon in our factory, but here they can meet all of you and learn friendship from your kind, caring ways. Oh, caring ways? Has she been to our school? Said Mercedes, shaking her head. Well, I think you all look very caring. Sophia smiled and went on. Now, what I want you to do is think about which 3 children in this class would make the best volunteers. I need 3 of you to look after my cyborg children during the days when we visit your school. I'm looking for kind, committed children who can help young cyborgs. They don't need help with things like maths or spelling, but they do need kindness. Remember, a lot of things will seem strange to them. They've had a very protected life so far. I need the most reliable, gentle, and helpful students in this class to work with these children. Mr. Caldwell walked to the front and said, thanks, Sophia. I know we're all really excited about this. We've got some super sensible children in year 6, so hands up, who would like to look after a cyborg child? Everyone stuck their hands up. Everyone. Barack was doing that thing, lifting his bottom off to his seat and waving his hand, and he was saying, please, pick me. Franca and Felicity were getting one arm to hold up the other, like that makes it go any higher. And loads of people were making straining noises, like holding your arm up is as hard as weightlifting. Well, I am not picking any silly people who behave like they're still in reception. Lila, how about you? Oh, yeah, Mr. Caldwell, I said, I'd love to. I heard Felicity whisper to someone, Lila, she draws on her hands. I didn't care. I was suddenly excited and nervous, like you feel before you have to present a project as a class. Mr. Caldwell did his slow scanning around the class at the straining arms. James de Vries, apart from your silly shouting out earlier, I think you'd actually make quite a good mentor. And now I need one more. His eyes stopped at Lewis, who was for once sitting very quietly with his hand in the air like a model pupil. Lewis, really? You've been making some bad choices lately, getting a bit silly. Do you really think you'd be a good mentor? Yes, sir, I would. Lewis folded his arms across his chest and looked back at the class. I could be okay if I want to. Then he put his head down onto his folded arms and looked a little defeated. Plus, I need something better in my life right now. I'm having problems with... His voice trailed away to a sigh. Sophia System 4002 turned towards Mr. Caldwell and said really quietly, so only the people right at the front like me could hear, I sense sadness. Why don't we give him a chance? Okay, Lewis, you're our final volunteer, said Mr. Caldwell. Barack muttered, not fair. Lewis went, yes, punched the air with his fist and shoved me lightly. Hey, pie face, we both got a cyborg. You said you wouldn't go near one because of electrical diseases, I whispered. I changed my mind, said Lewis. These sound cool. They're from the moon. They're going to be really high spec. Then I whispered even more quietly, are you sad? Not now, not, said Lewis, sitting up extra straight and looking all excited. Sophia System 4002 smiled very brightly. Right, let's bring in our new friends. A beautifully dressed girl walked in. She looked like an 11-year-old girl, only better. Everything about her shimmered. Her flawless skin, her glittery hair, her perfect shoes. The whole class went, ah, softly, like they'd seen a firework. She stood there, blinking her big eyes slowly and looking about at all of us. Hello, everyone. My name is Clara 2.2. Her voice wasn't anything like Mr. Martinelli's roboty one. It was calm, gentle. She didn't look nervous like I do when I have to stand up and talk in front of everyone. She didn't go, and she didn't go bright red and look down at her shoes. She just stood at the front, looking all clean, and said, I am second generation Clara. The first Claras were very good at maths, but I am good at maths and sport. I speak every earth language, and I have 2 moon dialects. I believe that friendship is the most valuable currency in the universe. Felicity and Franca said, oh, so true. I heard Barack whisper to Mercedes very quietly, oh, yuck, I'm going to be sick. It was way too quiet for Mr. Caldwell, but Clara 2.2 turned her perfect head towards Barack and said, are you unwell? May I help you? Barack looked embarrassed. No. I feel a bit better now, thanks. Clara 2.2 smiled at him. Oh, good. You organic children feel sick sometimes, but cyborg children are never ill. We are here to understand your pain and help you. I am designed to bring joy and laughter every day. Better if she brought us no maths tests and a 5-day weekend, laughed Lewis. Lewis, said Mr. Caldwell. Sophia System 4002 frowned at Lewis and then called in the next cyborg, a boy with very neat black hair and a cheeky smile. He looked even more confident than Clara 2.2 and said, hi guys, I'm Felix Tranquility X. I'm currently 11.5 years old and what is known as a peacekeeper. I'm diplomatic, calm, and have been designed to be charming at all times. I'm fully proficient in all subjects. I'm what is known as a universal friend model, meaning I can make friends with anybody. Oh yeah, try me, said Lewis under his breath. I'm universal annoy everyone model. I smiled at him and whispered, only some of the time. But he's right, he does do some stupid stuff. He's been even more of an idiot this term, wobbling about being Mr. Wobble Man, and he doesn't really have a best friend. Felix Tranquility X looked straight at Lewis from under his perfect eyebrows and said, just looking at you, human boy, I feel we have been friends forever. I feel we have shared secrets and played games in the golden sun. Lewis just rolled his eyes and looked out of the window. So Mr. Caldwell came right over to his desk and hissed, Lewis, you've been given the opportunity to look after one of our cyborg friends today, but from the way you're currently behaving, I'm having doubts about letting you. Do I make myself quite clear? Lewis nodded. Felix Tranquility X gave me a little friendly wink. But maybe it was an electrical fault. Anyway, I winked back. I was so excited. These children looked amazing, especially compared to people like Lewis. The last cyborg entered the classroom, except we didn't see him come in. We saw the door open, but not him, because he was shorter than the desks. Sophia, System 4002, picked him up so he could stand on the front desk while he introduced himself. He looked like a boy of about 11, but he was just very small. Felicity and some of the other girls went, oh, adorable and so cute. But the little cyborg boy looked really cross and said, excuse me, I am actually 11 and I have a genius level IQ. I am proficient in all medicine and astrophysics, and my name is Jasper, Micro Range Express. Yes, I am a compact product, but I am the future. In an overcrowded universe, I function at a high level, taking up much less space. I also require fewer materials to produce. I am the way forward. Wow, said Lewis, and then he turned to me. I told you they'd be good. My real dad says stuff from the moon colonies is always top quality. That thing's amazing. Thanks for your support, said Jasper, Micro Range Express. Lewis shot up his hand. Mr. Caldwell, can I be partners with that one? The little one. Oh, all right, Lewis. Lewis can be with Jasper. James, you can be with Felix. And Lila, you can be with Clara 2.2. Clara 2.2 gave me this really friendly smile and did a tiny wave. Mr. Caldwell went on. They are to stay with you every day, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, attend all lessons with you, and understand what being a normal edu-hub with human children is like. Remember, they're here to learn friendship, so let's show them just how friendly we all are here at Lime Grove. If they get on well, we might allow them to go to your homes for play dates and at a later stage, to fully integrate them into our human world. Apart from Mercedes rolling her eyes at Mr. Caldwell's babyish use of the word play date, everyone else started chatting excitedly. Amir shouted, oh, Mr. C, can we take them swimming? Can they go in the aquadrome, or will they fuse or something? Oh, what do they eat? Said Felicity. Are they gluten-free, vegan? Will we get the correct information concerning cyborg diet? Ridwan wanted to know if he might be have an allergic reaction to cyborgs, as he's pretty sensitive to some polymers and plastics, and his mum might not want one in the house. Mr. Caldwell waved his hands and said, okay, let's all calm down. Enough questions for now. I'm sure our new friends will be happy to explain all there is to know about being a cyborg child soon enough. Look, it's almost break. Okay, outside everyone, take your cyborgs. And that's where I'm going to end chapter 2, sorry. So that's the beginning of the adventure. The cyborgs come to the school and all kinds of things happen. In fact, in the end, as you can see, Lila invites her cyborg home for a sleepover that goes terribly. I won't spoil it for you, but it goes absolutely terribly. Now, I'm going to move on a little bit now and hopefully get us all to some drawing, because I have been working on book 3 in my series, which is called A Moon Boy Loves My Best Friend. Because in these books, I've tried to cover your primary school horrors as I remember them, because I don't think it's changed that much. So this first book is about A Moon Girl Stole My Friend. That's basically about girls in year 6 not being very nice. Now, this is based on my own experience of year 6 many years ago. I had a best friend called Sarah, and I'd had Sarah all through school from reception right up to year 6. And then in year 6, she decided to be best friends with Samantha Kay. Samantha Kay was absolutely gorgeous, long brown hair down to her knees. I couldn't compete, and I had a miserable year 6. So I'd always wanted to write about girls being horrible, but I've set it in the future to make it more interesting. And then this one was about the robots, and I'm just really fascinated about, in this one, it's sort of like, is tech, can we ever really be friends with tech or not? And I think the conclusion is not necessarily. So I'm not very pro-robot in that one. And then I've always wanted to do this one, which you see on the screen, which is about that awful thing of year 6 crushes. So Lila, in that book, she decides to have a cake sale so the whole school, her whole year actually, can go on a residential trip to the moon. They were going to go to Norfolk. She says, I don't want to go to Norfolk. Norfolk's terrible. Why want to go to Norfolk? So they get a bake sale going, and they actually have enough money to go to the moon colonies, to camp, I think it's called Camp Crater, and they have a mixed time there too. And the main problem for Lila in this sort of, adventure trip is that Bianca, who you see there with the pink hair, her best friend, well, this guy on the right, the cool guy from the moon, falls in love with Bianca, and there's a kind of romance thing which is really awkward for Lila. And we've all been there, you've got your friend, you think you're gonna have a good time, and then there's a romance going on. So that book's about that. So if any of you are suffering from that awful crush, romance, horror, again, based on real life this. So when I'm 10, I'll go on holiday to Dorset with my cousins. I don't see my cousins a lot of the time. They live in London, so I'm sort of meeting them up once a year, and they change obviously in a year. And when we're 10, my cousin Joanna turns up on holiday, again looking drop dead gorgeous. I've got really short hair at this time. I look like sort of a ragamuffin lad. She's turned up, long black glossy hair. She's got a really good sundress on this sun with like pink dots and little straps. And there's a boy staying down the road on holiday called Brian. He's got a jumper with his name Brian knitted on it. I don't think he's cool. He's not cool. But he spends the whole summer sort of sitting around Joanna. So we can't play because you got Brian in love with Joanna, not a good summer. So that's what this book's about. It's about that. But let's get drawing, because the thing I've really enjoyed drawing in this book is my robots. Now, I'm very fond of this little chap. I think I'll show you now. I love this robot. This robot here that you can see is a Technobot that comes to their school flying coach when it breaks down on the way to the moon. You know what school trips are like. Your coach is going to break down. In this story, breaks down going to the moon. They have to go to the moon services. These little chaps got on and try and fix it. And I like this robot because he's got a bit of personality. And the thing I really try to do in my work is give everyone a good expression so you can really understand what they're feeling. And it's quite hard to do that with a robot. I'll do it with people. If I can go full screen now, I'll show you some pictures from my other bits of work. So can we see, if we go here, this is my big shouting lane. You can see here, I really love getting the expression so you can tell what everyone's feeling. I think it's really important to know that, these people are thinking, what on earth is going on here? Or in this one here, it's an old book of mine. I think I've concentrated here on the expressions of the parents as the children are being really naughty upstairs. So hopefully you can see mum and dad just getting crosser and crosser. And I do like that in a book, that you can see what people are feeling. So what I'm going to do first is get my paper, and I'm going to show you some hints and tips about expressions. I hope you've got your pens. Pens ready now, pens, paper. Don't want you to copy me, but I'm going to give you a few tips. First of all, we're going to look at human expression. So first of all, thing I like, now some people do dotty eyes, which can be really cute. You know, they're quite cute. Dotty eyes are all right. Lots of illustrators do that. It's just a dot. Oh, a bit wobbly up here. Excuse the wobbliness. I'm a bit, well, this is actually my washing wrap I'm working on here. Now, I always like an eye that's got a bit of, it can look. So I like my eyes. See, if you do the eyes on the side, you already get a bit of a, what's going on there expression. Then the other key one I use a lot is you could be having, you're anxious, you put the eyebrows up like that. Or we can have, I like this one too, this is like, oh, don't hurt me, put the mouth down there, a little bit, oh, I'm a bit sad. Oh. What else could we do? We could be smiling. Smiling, I always do them like that, sort of hee. That already gives you a bit of a smile. The eyes go that way. The eyes are where it is. Eyes, expression. So you can do all these in human, that's fine. But what I would like you to try now at home is, can we get some expression into the robots? Because most people say, draw a robot. They go, okay, I'll draw a robot. It's got a square head. And most people, oh, draw a robot. It's got maybe, I don't know, boring eyes like this. Maybe it's got a sort of robot-y mouth. Very wobbly. I don't know what my robots can look like. Robot-y neck. Robot ears, robot ears. And you know, this robot's quite boring. Here it is, robot. I'm a robot. I might have some panels there. That's controlling me. I'm a boring robot. Robot arms. The basics, the robot-y finger. Yeah, we all know this. Boring old robot. We don't really care about this robot because he's quite no. Right. You can start drawing robots now. Start doing some robots. Yeah, put some rolly wheels on there. He's rubbish. But it's quite a boring robot. And, you know, I don't really care about this robot because he's not got much personality. I don't know if he's a sad robot or a happy robot or a sweet robot. So I think now, bearing in mind, you know, expression, let's see if we can get some robot expression. So now I think I'm going to do a cute robot. So cute robot, I'm thinking, oh, round heads, think babes, like cute robot. Think I'll have a round, very round head. Round heads are always cute, aren't they? Like little babies. And then little, I think also quite cute if the head's bigger than the body. It's always a cute look. And I might just give it one little trainer wheel there, this robot. I'm just going to roll on that. And let's give it a sort of cute way of being. Hello. I want this to be a very cute robot. Not scary hands. Let's give him cute little hands. Hello. Cute. And what would make him cute? Big eyes. They're always cute. Let's give him some really big, lovely eyes. Big eyes, cute. Think about like meerkats and cute animals. What's cute? Babies are cute. Think cute baby owls. Things with big eyes are always cute. Big eyes makes it cute. Hello. And also, a nice tip. You can always leave a bit of white to give a sense of shine. I like that. If you want a bit of shine somewhere, always leave a bit of white. You want lipstick too, or ladies' hair, or, you know, patent shoes. Leave a bit of white and you get a shiny eye. Hello. Now, I think for cuteness, I'm actually not going to put a nose in because, you know, I don't look cute with this great big nose. I'd look a lot cuter with no nose. So I'm not going to put a nose on him. I'm certainly not cute. I'm aiming for cute, and I'm going to make him smiley. But he might look a little bit, if I put the mouth a bit lower, he's a little more uncertain if I put his robot mouth down there. Hello. Give him, and you know, that is just a cute robot. That is just cute. And I think that'll do. That is my cute robot. It's cute. Now let's think about how about a sad, defeated robot. So I want to do like a kind of hopeless robot. So if you think a hopeless robot, I think, what's a hope? To me, a hopeless sort of shape is kind of, I always think that's a bit hopeless. Ooh. It's just a hopeless shape to start with, isn't it? Hopeless robot. I think that's very hopeless. Hello, I'm a hopeless robot. And I think, hopeless, I could give him, you see, that sort of direction of eye, that anxiety, sorrowful eye shape. So it's already a very hopeless robot. I've got the feeling this is a rubbish old robot, and I could actually make that a bit sad like that. It's actually, it's not good. It's very old tech. And then I could keep giving quite a defeated feeling. Again, things going down is always defeated. So let's have him a bit of a cog here. You can come down here like this. He's already, look at that. That is not a happy robot. Not a happy robot. This one here, maybe a bit like that. Oh, this is definitely defeated, hopeless robot. Thinking down, thinking misery. Maybe I could put a wonk there. So he's not quite. He's got his bit. Oh, he's a bit fierce then. Gappy teeth. He's still not good. Nose. Maybe I should put a nose on there. You can add a nose if you want. I'm not sure what do robots have noses? I suppose it could have a nose. Maybe I could give him a sort of grill effect. A ventilator. So let off steam. I don't know what that's for. That's just to cool him down, maybe. He's not going to be breathing, is he? The robot. That's quite. He's not cheerful. And then I'll give him a rubbish old bent antenna. He's been kicked about a bit. Now, what I did in the summer puppet, I'll give him some. I think he needs to be quite trundly. Like he's not going to go anywhere fast. I'll give him caterpillar wheels here. Caterpillar wheels always make people look a bit clumsy, I think. Caterpillar wheel, he's rolling. Very defeated, hopeless. This is hopeless robot. So I've got cute robot, hopeless robot. And what I did with my pictures also, when I was doing the book, to make them look really rubbish, I put a bit of pencil on just so they look like they're all bashed. A bit rusty, a bit smudgy. You've got pencils are good. If you've got a good soft pencil, you can get a real mucky look by smudging it. Smudgy. Looks rubbish, bit of a crack. And I tell you another thing that I found makes things look really low tech. If you actually sort of make them out of plates of metal, so he's not just one bit of metal. He's been made out of loads of old rubbishy bits of tin or whatever, and put some screws in. If you want to make them look really old, because I like it in my book. So it is set in the future. But some of the text looking quite grim. Because that's the same in real life, isn't it? Look at some old escalators and cars. They look rubbish. So let's get some screws in there. So he does look really... He's hopeless, isn't he? Absolutely hopeless. I could black out this eye, so that's not even working. Maybe this one is working. Bit of light around there. I tell you what also rubbish, light bulbs. Let's give him an unnecessary light bulb on his head here. Don't know what that's for. That looks very hopeless. Low-tech rubbish robot. This looks like something you've made in your bedroom. So that's a hopeless robot. Now, I was going to do something else here. Another tip. Give me another tip on shading while we're here. So let's look at cute robot. I don't know if I've got that. So I need a nice soft pencil. Oh, yeah. Got a 2B. That might work. Pencils come in different strengths. And the 2B is nice and soft. So we shade that. And shade your robot. What I need, you could give him a 3D with your finger. Shade them. It's easier in paint, but you can do it with pencil. Shade him. If dark around the edges, you get a sort of 3D effect. I don't know if you can see that coming. Not really, a bit darker there. So then if you're doing a round thing, you shade darker at the edges, lighter in the middle. And if I did have a rubber, I could take that. I'll show a rubber. You can picture. So we've got cute robot, defeated robot. Now let's look at angry robot. My system's about to collapse on me here. Right, another bit of paper. Going down, my makeshift flip chart. Just still holding up there. Good. Angriness. Now, angriness is quite easy to draw. Let's just remind ourselves what an angry face looks like. When you're angry, you will find you may be staring very hard ahead. I am very, very cross. The thing that makes this very, very cross is if we just make those eyebrows go down like that. Oh, cross. Very cross. Nostrils are always good for crossness. And a general grumpy face. There we are. There's your angry face. Now, I'll transfer that human angry face into an angry robot. Pens at the ready. Draw what you like if you're drawing out there. Angry. Thinking big, strong shape. Now, this is where I think squareness does work. Big, angry robot. And I'm thinking square. I don't know what you're thinking. I just think square, blocky, angry robot. Look there. And now eyes, angry eyes. I think staring, scaring, big, scary. I'm going to use big eyes, but I'm going to put them quite close together. That makes him less appealing. And I'm going to make them really starey. And with this angry robot, I'm going to leave the light spot in the middle of his eye because that makes it look a little more. And then I am going to give this robot some kind of nostril because the nose will make him crosser. Right? You know, some air vents here. That makes it look, he's already looking a bit cross. And then, of course, the mouth has to be angry. Teeth are quite scary. I know robots don't have teeth, but he could have some kind of grill like the front of a car. That could be where you see that sort of monstrous robot energy coming here, that grill. And, of course, the eyebrows. Well, they won't have eyebrows, but maybe the metal, maybe they designed him so the metal's coming down like that. That is all. That's angry. That's an angry robot. Things sticking out the side of head. Let's give him some menace now. Something a bit mean, like a pointy thing. I don't know what he's going to do with that. That could be his ears, but is it? Is it ears or is it weapons? That's an angry. You don't want to be near this guy. Now what else? I could put something slightly sinister. Horns are good, aren't they? Horns, but we always don't have horns. But we could give him a suggestion of horn. Something up here. Now, I don't know what these are. Again, these could be weapons. We could put some smoke coming out to imply there could be flames at some point coming out of those. Maybe there's his sort of flame jets. Now, the body. I want him to be angry. I'm going to make him have that hunched look because that's angry. Think sort of big, scary monster. So I'm going to put the actual shoulder line here. That'll make him look scary. If you have a high shoulder line, you're giving a real angry feel. Coming for you. There we go. Excuse the robot voice there. He's quite angry. Come forward. And I'm going to give him stumpy legs. Clomp, clomp, clomp. Quite big feet. Big feet here. Big. Bigger feet. Stomp. Like they're going to crush you. Crush you. So if you're doing an angry robot, make him look really cross. Let's have something here that looks quite horrible. Do you know what? I might do something really horrible here. I'm inclined to put some sort of huge thing here with, these aren't teeth. I'm guessing these are metal killer blades. They're scary. A bit early in the day for this level of horror. I mean, if he eats you, that could be where he actually munches you up. It's a weapon grade robot. Anger. Hands. Right, we need big hands. Not remember the cute one had quite little hands. I think something here needs to be quite menacing. I'll bring this arm down. I've got room. Blocky fingers. Again, with spikes on. And then this one can be out here. No, of course, but let's raise his hand up so he looks like he's coming at you. Angry robot. Angry robot. Big blocky fingers. Maybe some weaponry you might want to put up here. That's fierce. Now, to make this, and put it in some context here, so we could have this robot, a few screws just to show that he is actually tech, not animal. Maybe some wheels on there. Make him look a bit techy. There we go. Angry robot. What you could do in your picture, if you've done an angry robot, you could give it a sense of scale. How big is this robot? Well, we can show how big it is by just drawing your house down here. So your house might be down here. You and your neighbours, a little semi-detached house down here. So it's just that big. Little window there. Family's there, neighbours are there. Little 30s semi down here. And then we can see how big he is. He's massive. Massive. You can have some tiny people in your picture. Oh my goodness me. What is that? It's a killer robot. See that already? Just putting some scale in your picture. Now you've got a hideously huge robot. Tiny people. So you could do that in your picture of an angry robot. Show us how big he is by adding tiny things. Top trick. Or we could do something else. You could do that. We'll just show you. So we've got cute robot. We've got hopeless robot. We've got angry robot. Now, let's go on to sort of cyborg children. So these are all very techy. How are we going to make say we've got better at making robots. Now you've got better at making robots. Hope you're drawing quickly. Got much better at making robots, and you can make them look like humans. So I'm going to create a cyborg baby. Can't look quite like a human baby. So how are we going to do this? I think, again, let's have a baby's face. This is what it looks like when it's come out of the factory. This is a cyborg baby. But how are we going to make it look like a cyborg? Well, I always think oversized eyes, like that dolly, makes things look a little bit weird. You just want to make it look a little bit off. So here is our cyborg baby. They've made it, maybe these eyes are, I think in my book, her eyes have laser beams that come out and tidy up your bedroom. So, and I'm going to make it look a little bit too cute, this baby. So this is the cyborg baby, fresh from the cyborg factory. Shall I make it a girl baby or boy baby? Don't know. I think I'll make it a little girl baby. I think cyborg babies are probably rather overdressed, like dollies, you know. Give her a frilly collar, bit off. Not quite right, no, cyborg baby. And she's going to look a little bit weird. And then maybe make her dress a bit stiff. I made their clothes look a bit sort of hard. And their little baby feet here. I'm a cyborg baby. Hello. Little toes. I'm a cyborg baby. I'm not quite real. Hello. Hello. Hello, cyborg baby. How's your? My cyborg baby's not going that well. How's yours going? A little hand. I'm a cyborg baby. Hello, you've got me from the factory. Now, we could draw another real baby that's looking a bit worried. And I think a real baby's going to look a bit more, ooh dear. So they've come to baby club. I think this baby needs to have a slightly smaller eyes. Just looking a bit worried. Again, the anxiety eyes. Not sure about that. Anxiety eye. Remember your anxiety eyebrows like that? Like normal baby. Normal baby's thinking, oh dear, oh dear. Not sure about that one. Something's off with him. It. What's that? Do his baby grow? A bit more fluid. Oh, cyborg baby. It's walking early. You can tell it's a cyborg baby. Look, that's about 3 months old. That's just sitting on its bottom. This one's walking. So that's a cyborg baby. Try and do a cyborg baby at home. Now, here's another challenge for you. So we've done a bit on expression. The other thing that's really fun to draw, if you're at home drawing, is buildings. Now, so the last challenge, I'm going to leave you with this challenge actually today. The last challenge for you is, can you draw a futuristic house where you'd like to live? What will the future look like? And there was a great book when I was little called Barber Papa's House, and it had a cross section of the house. You could see all inside. So that would be a really good challenge to leave you with, to do, and maybe send into the library, your future home. Now you could do the outside of the home. I love circles. I always want to live in a house like this. So a round house. I like a perfectly spherical house actually. I'd like my house to be round, and I'd like a little round door, portal. Just love the look of a round house. It would look like that, and then have a few little windows, round windows. I love everything round. My future home would be round and smooth. I don't know, and then I might have an aerial for some reason. I don't know what this does. But I could have interconnecting tunnels, a bit like a hamster cage on a big scale. You know those hamster things with all the tunnels? I'd like to live in one of those. And I have a clear tunnel here into my other chamber here, whatever this is. Maybe this is my kitchen. I'll have that, another door there, and another door, and another window there. So I've got 2 rooms. I'll have a nice grassy, spacey bank to live on. And of course I'd have a swimming pool, and I would actually put my swimming pool up here in some kind of bowl. I like the idea of a clear bowl up there. Oh, you can't see that. Water there. I'll put it down here. So like a clear, well, I'll have another pool here, a big pool here with some water in. Something like that, and water in there maybe a slide from this window, come up the bedroom every morning into the glassy pool of water. But you could send in some designs about your future home, what's going to be inside, what you have a cross section, couldn't you? You could open out the house, so you could say, oh, this is the cross section here, and show all the rooms, and that'd be nice. You fill it with all the tech you need. I don't know, the cake making machines, the Ferrari making machines, whatever you've got in your house. And you could send that into the library to show your fantastic interiors of the modern home. That is the challenge I'm setting you. Draw your future home and send it into the library and show us what it's like. Now, I think it's almost time for some questions maybe from other people that I'm going to answer. Let's have a look what we have here. Oh, I've got, don't stop. Well, what I need, I've got a question here which says, what was the most surprising thing you learned in creating your books? Well, on recent experience, it has been, can I show you this thing here? I'll tell you what I've learned. I have learned creating my books. Can you see these nice glass hats I've put on? And these nice domes here. I think that's what I've learned this time, is how to get in Photoshop. I do use Photoshop, that nice glassy dome. And I've been using it all the way through that book. Everything is glassy and shiny. I've also learned, maybe in a more writery way, that you can have an idea, like with the Moon Girl book, I thought, oh, I want to write about year 6. I told you I'm a horrible friend. but it ended up something completely different. I never set out to write a science fiction book, but it's turned into a science fiction book. So that was quite surprising. Another question I've got there is, do I plan the ending of my book? No, I don't plan the ending of my book. I just start writing and see what happens and just work it out as it goes along. Because in a funny way, the story sort of takes itself on its own journey. Once you start typing or writing, you can try this at home, start writing, and you know that when you're writing at school, you write a story, you sort of start writing, you think, and then this stuff comes as you start writing. So just start. So I don't know the end of my stories. And I think I've come to the end of my drawing session.
I've got some more questions, Rebecca. That's been fantastic. I've got some more questions, yeah, but thank you for that. That was absolutely fantastic. I would love to be able to see what everyone's drawing at home. I bet they're fantastic.
So would I.
I know. Oh, we've got a question come through.
Yeah. So Poppy's question. Poppy's question. Where do you get your inspiration from? Well, as I said, all these books are based on grim things that happened to me in primary school. And then I just make the rest of it up. I'm not sure. I just make stuff up as I go along. But the other thing, I do work in a primary school. I'm currently working in reception. But for this one, I was working in year 5. And it was really useful working if I was a classroom assistant. As a classroom assistant, you get to sit with the children. You're not like the teacher. You're on the desk listening to the gossip. So I was taking serious notes. But when I was writing this book about the horrible girls, I was a bit worried because, you know, modern schools, it's all, we don't bully, we're all really nice, everyone's lovely. I think, yeah, maybe modern kids are actually really nice to each other. Maybe it's just me from the dark ages of the 1970s when everyone was like running out in the streets being horrible. I don't know, maybe modern kids are lovely. I was writing this book about these horrible kids thinking, I don't think they're going to get it. They're all too nice. But, I was doing my dinner time duty with my high vis on, being a bit of a dinner lady TA. I was standing in the dinner queue behind 2 little girls, and they were having a little gossip, and I could hear what they were saying. And they said something like, yes, well, no one talks to Maisie anymore. And I thought, oh, they're all just as horrible as they ever were. So I suppose a lot of my inspiration comes from working in the school.
That's a great question. Thank you, Poppy. Right, I've got some more questions here that have come in by email. And I've got one from me. So one question is, what is your daily schedule like when you're working? Do you work non-stop all day?
No, I don't, because at the moment I'm in lockdown and I have got 2 adult children who are 18 and 20. So if you want to know my daily routine, it is this. I go first. And I might just touch my desk. Get up, it's a working day. I get them up. No, and I try and, it depends what I'm doing. To be honest with you, if I have a big deadline, like at the moment, I have got a deadline on to finish a picture book. So I am working quite a few hours, but it's not regular. It's where I can fit it. So it might be in the evenings. It might be in the morning. I know I tend to do a good 2 hours in the morning, but I like doing other things. You know, I've got to go out and see the weather and, I don't know, cook something or mess about. You know, there's things to do. So I don't work all day. No, I work like a kid when I fancy it.
When you fancy it. Yeah. That's a good answer. I like that. Now, this is a good question. This is a bit about your past.
Yes.
Someone's been reading about you here. So they say you studied fashion illustration before doing your MA in book illustration. Is that right? When creating illustrations, do you tend to pay particular attention to what the characters are wearing? You do.
I do. It's really, I really do. I do, especially like, you know, like if you don't can see the back of the ear, you know, and the hair especially. I'm really into the outfits. I do. I love it. And I always be very careful with the stitch lines on clothing, or work out where the buttons are. In my children's books, I do. I check people are wearing the right clothes. So, you know, Mum here in this book, and I've checked, she's wearing sort of mum jumper, very aware of the fashions. Yeah.
I like a mum jumper.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, that's good to know. I love that. That's a good answer. Now, I have one. One. So when you've been drawing for us, I know you're doing it for us as kind of an audience. When you're drawing characters, do you give them all voices as you're drawing them, like you were doing with us? I don't know if you noticed, but you were doing voices as you were drawing.
I probably do, actually. And quite often I start a story with a drawing, not the writing. So a drawing, even if it's, I always start with a drawing just to see who they are and get a feeling for them. And I certainly think it is almost like an improv thing. You have to be the person. I know who this. So the teacher in the book, Mr. Caldwell, is very much based on my own primary school teacher, Mr. Garthwaite. I had a teacher called Mr. Garthwaite in Bolton, and he was absolutely fantastic guy. He was like old guy who'd been in the Second World War, and I just kept him in my head. That's Mr. Garthwaite, and it really helps to know who these people are. Yeah, and the mean girls, we all know that mean girl. You know, I'm definitely channeling a mean girl. There's a girl in the book called Mercedes, and that's a kid I used to play with, really sassy kid, and I can hear them. Yeah, so it's joint voices. Yeah.
So is that something then? Would you recommend that as like a tip if someone's writing a story?
I think it is. I think if you're a child out there now and you do that thing where you I don't know how many kids do it now because you've got video games and stuff, but I'm sure children are still out there with their toys or little things, and you're kind of making up a story you do it when you're very little, and I think some people do it a bit older, where you're sort of going, and then she did this, and you've got your stories, you're playing. I think playing is ultimately kind of writing. It all feeds into the same thing. It's not just about being good at, I'm very good at English, I'm very good at reading, or I'm very good at writing. I think you have to be playing and imagining just as much as writing, if not more so. So if you're out there playing a game or pretending to be someone with your friend, in those games you play when you pretend to be other people, they're kind of the way to write in a way. Now, I used to play this game with my cousin, Joanna, the glamorous one. We go on holiday with this fantastic game called Stacey and Teresa. And what you did, you put your tights or your pajama bottoms on your head, and you'd have your pajama legs hanging down like this. That becomes your hair. And if you twist your pajama bottoms, you get a fantastic plait. And we would just play all summer, teenagers called Stacey and Teresa. And it was just about, I'm going to do my hair in a beautiful long plait. I'm going to tie mine in 2 buns on my head. And it was just pajama bottoms. But in a way, you are creating a character. And then when you're bigger, you can type it, you know. But I think when you're little or younger, it's all about playing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. And that fits in with what Joseph was a top tip that Joseph gave. One of his was have fun. Yeah. I think that's it. That's what you're kind of saying, isn't it? Just that idea of playing around.
It's not just about reading and writing. It's everything you're doing is going to make stories and entertain.
Brilliant, brilliant. And there, I think I'm going to do a close-up of you because there's one more thing that I want to see. I want to see that doll's eyes change colour again. I'm going to put you as close up so everyone can see it. That was spooky.
Yes. She's got a string at the back of her. I'll tell you what. So these dolls are called Blithe Dolls. And when I was about 5, they were all the rage in my playground. And my mum would not buy me one because she said they were tacky. My mum was one of those mums. She's like, you're not having one of those, they're tacky. And they actually stopped making them because they're a bit scary, as you can see. Because you do that and you get green ones. You do that, you get blue ones. They actually went out of production for years because they're so spooky. But as an adult, when I had some money for a book, I thought, you know what? First thing I'm going to buy is a doll like this. Finally, I've got my doll with crazy eyes.
Sorry, I love that. That's wonderful. Right. Are there any more questions for Rebecca? If not, we're going to, I can't see any more on the feed. Okay. Right then. That's been absolutely fantastic, Rebecca. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Okay. What a great morning we've had. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. I've had a wonderful morning. I should have been sitting here drawing away myself. I suddenly thought that halfway through. I know. Cool. Right. Wonderful. So let's talk about next week now. We've got a very different Library Adventures Live for you next Tuesday. Football fans, this is one you will not want to miss. We've got 2 football book authors coming to entertain and inform you. 2. This is going to be a fantastic football-themed extravaganza. Next week, we're bringing you a firm Kirklees favourite author, Tom Palmer, who will be talking books and football with exciting new author, Matt Oldfield. Really, really great. Tom will be reading from his famous Football Academy series, and Matt will be introducing us to his new book, Johnny Ball, Accidental Football Genius. I love that. Accidental Football Genius. Was that you? Was that one of you out there? Accidental Football Genius? We'll have to see, won't we? See you next week. So just like this week, you can email in questions before the event. So let me just get up the email address. Oops. Okay, so it's just the same email address as before, frontline.services@kirklees.gov.uk. And this is the same email address that I'm going to ask you to do Rebecca's challenge. So if you're going to go home and you're going to create a wonderful home of the future. Now you could make it. They can make it out of Lego. We've got a big Lego club that runs as well. It'd be great if they did that. Or you could draw it, or you could create it. And we'll share the pictures with Rebecca as well. And we'll put them on the website. So same email address. If you want to send in some questions for Tom and Matt, this email address, and include your picture of your future home as well. And if you've still got a funny poem you're working on, you can send that in too. And remember, we're working on, when we get all these pieces of work together at the end, we're going to create a book of your work. So get them in. That's your challenge, okay? So next week, if you know any football-loving children, they will need to be watching Library Adventures Live next week. They absolutely need to see it. Tell them now. So thank you all for joining us today. And please do tell your friends about Library Adventures Live. We'll be here every week with exciting adventures to share with you all. Thank you again, Rebecca. You were out of this world. Just had to do that. Okay. So take care, everybody. Keep reading. Wash those hands. Get drawing and creating your future homes. Be inventive. Have fun. And join us again next Tuesday at 11 o'clock. If you can't make next Tuesday at 11, don't worry. All of the sessions are recorded for you on our YouTube channel. Okay. So this is Kirsty and Rebecca whizzing off into outer space together. So long, Library Adventures. Bye-bye.